Hello, welcome to the next lesson. In this part, we are going to learn what a killer blow is and how you can spot them in your games. A killer blow is a move that destroys the pawn cover of your opponent and makes it vulnerable to attack. If you want to find killer blows in your game, then ask yourself one question. How do I remove the pawn cover of opponent's king so that it becomes vulnerable to attack? Let me show you with an example how you can find killer blows in your game. Take a look at this position. In this position, Black's king is sitting safely behind these pawns. As long as Black's king is behind these pawns, there is no way you can attack the Black's king. If you want to attack the Black's king, then you need to find a way to remove the pawn cover of the opponent's king. Here, first White played knight cross f6. White exchanged one defender of the Black's king. Black played bishop cross f6. And now ask yourself this question. How do I remove the pawn cover of opponent's king so that it becomes vulnerable to attack? This is the pawn cover of the opponent's king and we want to destroy it. If White plays rook cross f6, then Black will play g cross f6 and we have managed to destroy the pawn cover of the opponent's king. After rook cross f6, g cross f6, White can play queen cross f6. Now this king has become vulnerable. We can play bishop d4 and we can attack this king on this long diagonal. Or we can use this g file. We are going to put our rook on the g file and we can try to attack this king on this g file. And we can also use this f6 square and h6 square for our pieces. Our pieces will go near the opponent's king and try to attack it. So you see, now the pawn cover has been removed, the king has become vulnerable. And that's how you spot the killer blow. Now Black knows that his king is vulnerable, so Black tries to exchange the queens. Black plays queen e7, Black wants to exchange the queen so that his king becomes safe. And now we play queen f6. Of course, we do not want to exchange the queens. And you see, we are using this weak square for our pieces. This queen is near the Black's king and in the next move we are threatening bishop cross h7 check or queen cross h7 check. So Black plays f5. Black is trying to defend the h7 square with his queen. And now we bring our rook into the game. So White plays rook to e1. Our threat is we are going to play bishop to c4 and attack on this pinned bishop. So Black plays queen f7 and Black gets out of the pin. And here White played rook to e3. You see, when I said this king is vulnerable and we can attack it using the g file. That's what White is doing here. White played rook e3, rook lift, so that rook can go to g3 and use the g file to attack the Black's king. Black played f4. Black is covering the g3 square. So White played rook e5. White said, no problem. If I cannot attack your king from the g3 square, then I am going to attack your king from the g5 square. Black played rook a d8. Black is bringing one piece into the game. Black's idea is that if White plays rook g5 check, then Black can play king g8 and Black's king is safe behind this pawn. But you already know what is a killer blow. A killer blow is a move that destroys the pawn cover of the opponent's king so that it becomes vulnerable to attack. And here Black has a pawn cover. Black is trying to hide behind this pawn shield. So what we do? We destroy it. White played bishop cross h7 check and White destroyed the last remaining pawn cover of the Black's king. Black played queen cross h7 and now White played rook g5 check. If Black plays king f7, then we can simply capture the queen. So Black went king h8 and after queen f6 check, Black has to play queen g7 and queen cross g6, it's a checkmate. In the final position, Black's king has no pawn left to protect it and White's pieces managed to checkmate the opponent's king. You see, there are repeatable killer blows that happens in the games frequently. Once you have studied these repeatable killer blows, then it will become easy for you to implement them in your games. There are mainly 6 different type of killer blows. And these are: first, we sacrifice a piece on h7, give a check on the opponent's king, and then our pieces attack the king. Second one is sacrifice on the g7 square. Third one is sacrifice on the f7 square. And if the pawn structure around the king is like this, then we sacrifice a piece on the h6 square. Or if the structure looks like this, then we can sacrifice a piece on the g6 square also. This is the 5th type. And many times we sacrifice a knight or a bishop on the f6 square so that opponent captures us and the pawn cover is destroyed. This is the 6th type, and in the next upcoming lessons we are going to learn each of these killer blows one by one. Once you have studied these killer blows in detail, then it will become easy for you to identify them in your games. Let's go to the next lesson.